Tired of Wi-Fi dying the moment the back door closes? Here are the top 5 outdoor Wi-Fi extenders that actually push fast, stable internet right into the yard, patio, or even the barn, ranked from good to truly outstanding. In this video, the plan is simple. Count down from 5 to 1 and unpack how each extender performed in real-world outdoor use. Range, stability, speed, weatherproofing, setup quirks, and the little gotchas no one tells you about. Stay to the end. 5. TP-Link AC1900 RE550. The TP-Link RE550 is a classic AC1900 wall plug extender that's all about raw throughput and mesh compatibility with easy mesh routers. In testing, the 3-antenna 3x3 design consistently hits strong 5 GHz speeds near the house, and the gigabit Ethernet port doubled as a handy bridge for cameras or a deck PC. It's snappy on 5 GHz with up to 1300 Mbps theoretical, while the 2.4 GHz band rides at up to 600 Mbps for older or long-range devices. The Tether app setup is painless. WPS pairing worked in one press, and relocation was guided by the signal LED, which is reassuring when trying to push coverage to the patio. But, well, this isn't a purpose-built outdoor unit, and that showed once the extender was moved closer to the elements. It's rated for typical indoor operating temps, 0 to 30 degrees Celsius. So for actual exposure, one has to mount it indoors and aim coverage outward, which limits how far the 5 GHz band holds up past walls. Through 2 exterior layers, 5 GHz dropped quicker than the dual band spec might suggest, and the 2.4 GHz band became the workhorse, fine for music and browsing, not ideal for 4K live cams or gaming. So it's great as a strong indoor extender that can help the yard, but not the best pick for true outdoor weather scenarios. What the RE550 gets right is stability. Adaptive path selection kept it from clinging to a weak backhaul. Roaming felt smooth when paired to easy mesh gear with one SSID. 4. FLBI New Wi-Fi Extender Signal Booster. Moving to number 4, this category of universal plug-in boosters looks appealing for price and promises, but specs and weather claims matter a lot outdoors. In practical yard testing, these compact repeaters can extend a network in open spaces, but they often lack high-gain antennas, robust radios, or proper ingress protection to survive permanent outdoor mounting. So the strategy becomes, place it near a back wall and hope it reaches. That can work for casual browsing at a picnic table. It struggles for stable HD cams or lag-free zoom on the lawn. Well, the biggest drawback is predictability. Without a clearly documented IP rating and outdoor temperature range, one ends up babying the installation, tucked under eaves, away from mist, and still susceptible to swings in performance on hot days. The 2.4 GHz band will typically carry farther, but with limited channel width and modest antennas, throughput dips under load. If the goal is occasional connectivity on a budget, it's serviceable. If reliability is top priority, better to step up to hardware purpose-built for outdoors. In repeated tests, these general boosters connected quickly, but roaming wasn't seamless between house and yard, leading to sticky client behavior until toggling Wi-Fi or forcing a reconnect. Mesh support, when present, tends to be brand-locked or partial, which complicates mixed ecosystems. It's fine for an extra bar or two near the patio, less fine when crossing 60 to 100 feet with clean video. 3. TP-Link EAP610 Outdoor Omada Wi-Fi 6. Now we're getting serious. The EAP610 Outdoor is a Wi-Fi 6 access point designed for indoor-outdoor use with an IP68 weatherproof enclosure, high-power amplifiers, and Omada mesh support. In testing, the dual-band AX1800 radios delivered clean, consistent throughput across open yards, with OFDMA and MU-MIMO helping when several phones and a couple of cameras were active at once. It's the first device in this lineup that felt truly deploy and forget outside. Pole mount, power via PoE, a line for coverage, and done. The Omada ecosystem was a highlight. With Omada Mesh, Adding a second EAP created a resilient link across the property without trenching Ethernet. If one node hiccuped, the mesh self-healed. Fast roaming kept calls and streams smooth when walking from kitchen to pergola. And centralized cloud management made tuning channel widths and power levels easy. For anyone already running Omada switches or gateways, this was, honestly, a joy to manage. Weather performance was confident. IP68 means dust-tight and highly water-resistant, and TP-Link adds 6 kV lightning and 15 kV ESD protection, reassuring in storm-prone areas. In light rain and wind, connectivity didn't wobble. In hot sun, the enclosure remained stable, with no thermal throttling noticed during long iPerf runs. Mounting options are versatile, and aesthetics are subdued enough for residential installs. Real-world range will always hinge on line of sight, but the EAP 610 Outdoor carried usable 5 GHz farther than compact plug-ins, and the 2.4 GHz band stayed sticky at distance for smart sensors and doorbells. WAVLINK AC1200 Outdoor Extender. Number 2 is the WAVLINK AC1200 series, a long-standing outdoor workhorse with IP-rated housings, passive PoE, and 4 detachable 7 dBi Omni antennas. In practice, that antenna array and high-power amplifiers make a big difference. 5 GHz hums for HD streams across medium yards, and 2.4 GHz stretches surprisingly far for sensors and older devices. Multiple modes, AP repeater router mesh, let it slot into almost any setup without drama. What stood out in testing was consistency in weather. The housing is built for outdoor climates, and with built-in lightning ESD protection, it shrugged off a thunderstorm without any post-rain weirdness. Mounted high with clear line of sight, feed it via passive PoE, and it just does the job. For many home users, this is the sweet spot. Capable range, stable throughput, and a price that's easier to swallow than bleeding-edge Wi-Fi 6 gear. Setup is straightforward. In repeater mode, it latched onto a strong backhaul quickly. In AP mode, Gigabit Ethernet made the connection feel wired solid for backyard offices and outdoor TVs. The Mesh extender capability, with compatible WAVLINK gear, smoothed roaming, though as with any mesh, matching models helps. The unit's flexibility means it can start as a repeater and later become a dedicated AP if a cable gets run. There are trade-offs. As an AC1200 platform, peak per-client speeds are lower than AX devices, and dense multi-client performance won't match Wi-Fi 6 OFDMA when everyone piles onto the network. Still, for single-stream 4K, smart cams, and casual browsing on the deck, real-world performance was more than enough. 1. WAVLINK AX3000 Outdoor Wi-Fi 6 Extender. At the top spot, the WAVLINK AX3000 delivered the best blend of speed, coverage, and resilience. Dual-band Wi-Fi 6 with aggregated up to 3,000 megabits per second, about 2,402 megabits per second on 5 GHz, plus 574 megabits per second on 2.4 GHz meant headroom for 4K streaming, video calls, and outdoor cameras simultaneously. In side-by-side tests against AC units, latency stayed low under load, thanks to MU-MIMO and Wi-Fi 6 efficiencies, and throughput at the far end of the yard held up impressively well. The hardware really matters here. Up to 6-7 dBi antennas on certain models, high-power front ends, and an IP67 weatherproof design kept the link steady through heat, wind, and a soaking rain. PoE support, 802.3 AF AT, and passive, depending on model, made placement easy without hunting for outlets outdoors. Once mounted high with clear line of sight, coverage expanded dramatically. Large patios, detached garages, even RV pads sprang to life with reliable signal. Mode flexibility sealed the win. Mesh, AP, router, repeater modes made it adapt to the network's evolution. Start as a repeater to prove the concept, then flip to AP over PoE for maximum stability. In mesh mode with other compatible WAVLINK nodes, roaming was smooth with a single SSID, and the network self-organized in a way that felt, well, finally, set it and forget it. The gigabit port ensured no wired bottleneck when bridging. In extended testing, the AX3000 kept performance where lesser units tapered off. 5 GHz stayed strong enough for streaming while walking toward the back fence, and 2.4 GHz remained sticky without wild speed swings. Final thought, for simple patios and short distances, the TP-Link RE550 is a friendly boost. For genuine outdoor coverage, step up to weatherproof PoE-powered hardware, ideally Wi-Fi 6 with proper antennas. That's the difference between 2 bars sometimes and rock-solid streaming where it actually matters.